Opinion: why it's time to prepare a draft blueprint for liberation of temples. Since 2014, millions of Hindus across Bharat have been anxiously awaiting the liberation of all Hindu temples, which have been unjustly usurped by various state governments for over 70 years and administered solely by political appointees. A single bold act by PM Narendra Modi to undo this ongoing injustice, which began under British rule, would earn him and the BJP accolades and praise for all time, as well as a justified permanent claim to rule the country. It is true that liberating temples is not within the purview of the central government, as they languish under hostile state governments, many of which are devoted to corruption, desecration, and the usurping of movable and immovable property. For over 70 years, devotees, spiritual organizations, and isolated law-abiding politicians have approached various courts seeking justice to administer their places of worship, which other religious communities enjoy fully. Most unfortunately, courts have been indifferent to the pleas of Hindu devotees, and temples continue to suffer, awaiting relief. However, this should not deter a determined central government. Even if the courts delay and the constitution designates it as a state subject, there are strong and effective methods to compel recalcitrant players into submission. One can take a lesson from the Congress Party's latest technique. Rahul Gandhi, leader of the opposition LOP, prompted by foreign lobbies, called for a caste census, appropriation, and redistribution of wealth, and controversially stated that the Congress would consider scrapping reservations when India is a fair place, which he claims is not the case presently. Neither Rahul Gandhi nor his Congress party thought about seeking the intervention of courts or whether the constitution permitted such proposals. Instead, he instigated a national debate on certain revolutionary ideas. He floated an idea to ignite a furious debate, even at the risk of plunging the nation into chaos, confusion, and violence. He sent feelers to the general populace, hoping they might grab the idea, go on a rampage, and propel him towards his dream of becoming Prime Minister. His methodology is noteworthy. He wisely decided to keep the judiciary out of the picture, lest they procrastinate indefinitely. The liberation of Hindu temples does not feature in the agenda of any political party. The fulfillment of every Hindu's cherished dream, not only in India but across the globe, remains unresolved. The BJP is overlooking a massive emotional theme that can unite all Hindus and ensure their continued power. People need a vast and proud dream beyond the claims of rising GDP, forex reserves, infrastructure development, international relations, and foreign investments. The liberation of temples is a long-cherished dream of every Hindu, and whichever political party includes it in their election manifesto can gain a significant advantage over other contenders. Recently, the Karnataka Congress government, notably hostile to Hindu interests but with a strong proclivity for foreign religions, took over the Gali Anjaneya Swami temple at Beatarayanapura on Mysuru Road. The temple was declared a notified institution under the Karnataka Hindu Religious Institutions and Charitable Endowment Act, 1997. CCTV footage surfaced on social media showing temple staff allegedly stealing money while counting donations and offerings in the Hundi donation box. Quick to seize every opportunity to take over temples, the government concluded that the temple's administration was improper. Under sections 42 and 43 of the Karnataka Hindu Religious Institutions and Charitable Endowments Act, 1997, the government took over the temple. The immediate reason was that the trustees lacked coordination, had no savings, and the money was being misused. No records were available regarding income and expenditure for the last 25 years. If the Karnataka government believed financial irregularities were happening in the temple, it could have ordered the reconstitution of the trust per law. Why was there a need to take over the temple administration? Is the same standard applied to churches, gurudwaras, and mosques, where financial irregularities also occur? Can taking over the temple prevent financial irregularities? Even in government-controlled temples, financial irregularities are rampant, along with objectionable schemes like different paid darshan categories, VIP darshan, temple money being used to construct VIP guest houses, high tariffs for prasadams, illegal diversion of temple funds for other projects, irregularities, and corruption in appointing temple priests, political party cadres being placed in temple office jobs, substandard quality prasadams, and more. Temples are graded as A, B, and C categories based on income generated, which is obnoxious. It is clear that liberating Hindu temples is not easily attainable, as all political parties refuse to part with this source of easy money. Justice appears very remote and bleak. Temple liberation is not on the agenda of any political party. What is the solution for this vexed imbroglio? One solution could be to approach the Supreme Court for a direction to all state governments, prohibiting any fresh takeover of any temple under any grounds. Under exceptional circumstances, a court-monitored interim administration can be put in place to restore normalcy. Another immediate reform could be to remove all hundis from temples and substitute them with e-hundis. Electronic money transfer will ensure proper accounting of funds and eliminate the need for physical counting and associated risks. Swipe left for next video. But the more important question is how temples will be run if liberation is permitted. Hindu communities should work on a blueprint regarding the administration and financial control of temples under the overall superintendence of a National Temples Authority of Bharat. Each temple should be managed by a board of elected Hindu members, with due representation given to all Hindu communities residing in the vicinity. Elections should be for independent members only, without any political affiliation. A blueprint covering all aspects should be prepared by a national committee of experts to determine how control will transfer from the government to the Hindu community. Thereafter, the proposal should be made into an election issue. It is important to remember that Hindus are the only community worldwide denied the basic right to administer their places of worship. The writer is former Director General, Multidisciplinary School of Economic Intelligence, and National Academy of Customs, Indirect Taxes Narcotics. Views expressed in the above piece are personal and solely that of the author. They do not necessarily reflect NEWS18's views. Latest blogs.